Well, hello, everybody, and welcome in on this Sunday, November the 2nd. This is your 270 weather for the 270 area code and beyond. I'm Chris Allen. Thanks for tuning in. Here on a Sunday evening, the current time is 6:36. If you have not set your clocks back 1 hour, then you think it's 7:36, but it's 6:36. Hopefully you did set your clocks back 1 hour, didn't you? I mean, come on, really? Did you? I mean, for somebody who's just now getting up after yesterday and you've been asleep this whole time and you've just kind of slept in today, you're probably like, was I supposed to do that yesterday? Yeah, yeah. Hopefully you did do that because the current time is now 6:37. And see, I've got it. I've set it back there, so it's that clock's right. My computer clocks are right. My little clocks I've got in front of me are correct. Wait a minute. Let's see. Can you see that? Oh, yeah, 6:36. This is the clock I have in front of me. It's actually 6:37. But anyway, so this one, when I reset it, it probably didn't sync up correctly. I may have to make a little adjustment here because you know what? It's daylight standard time now, in case you didn't know. Yeah. Okay. Now I've set it and it's correct now. Okay. So there's the current time. 6:37 p.m. on this Sunday, November 2nd. Okay, now that we've got the time established and it's now dark 30 pretty much everywhere, and it's going to stay that way. What is it, 6 months? It's going to stay that way for 6 months. I know you don't want to hear that, but here we go. We're going into those months when everything is going to get darker, dark. Okay, but don't let it depress you. That's not a good thing. Find the good, find the beautiful, find the pretty in those dark hours when it's like this in the winter times and fall. 51, boy, it felt like winter today. These numbers, those numbers, are actually a little more what we would find in the wintertime, like January. Yeah, I mean 51, that's cold for the beginning of November. It's 14 degrees cooler than the normal of 65. 65 is where we're supposed to be. But because of the clouds and the leftover showers, we only made it to 51, and that low of 44 was chilly. 6/100ths of an inch of rain, and that was mostly this morning, although there were still some raindrops kind of just popping up here this afternoon, but not very many. Most of you picked up less than 1/10 of an inch of rain with some of the additional showers that came through. So this, tomorrow being Monday, it is the 3rd tomorrow, 3rd of November. We're getting back to work, and this is when you need to give R&R Controls a call because they'll be in the office. And if you saw me last night, you know that I talked about having your HVAC unit checked out. Well, as you know, they take weekends like we take a weekend, and we try not to, do a lot of work unless it's just something we choose to do or have to do. But they're the same way. They have to, they give their crew and their family some time off on the weekends. But tomorrow they'll be in the office and they'll be ready to take your phone call should you need to have your HVAC unit serviced. And with some of the temperatures that I'm about to tell you about, and maybe the first real shot of cold, not cool, but cold air coming, you are going to need your HVAC checked out and see if it's ready with the heating and the ventilation and the filtering and all of that. Is it going to work? Is it going to be what you want it to be when you hit the thermostat? Well, R&R Controls have been around for 40 years, and they have a crew that is just well-viced and experts in taking care of your HVACs. Whether you're a home or whether you're a business, you need to go on their website right there, rnrhvac.com. On that website, you can hit them up with a note saying, I would like for you to call me and set up an appointment to come out and take a look at my heating and cooling unit and get it ready for the winter months ahead. Or you can give them a call tomorrow at that phone number at the top. That's 270-777-2024. 270-777-2024. Because with R&R Controls, you'll never, ever be without heating, cooling, ventilation, automated services, generators. Who knows when you're going to need that? So give them a call tomorrow. They'll be in the office, regular business hours, or you can go right now to their website, rnrhvac.com. And I want you guys to do this because I've shown them, but I want there to be this, when they get on the phone or get on the website tomorrow, they'll go, what did you tell your audience? They're calling. They're hitting us up on the website. What did you say? Just do it. Just do it to say hello, even if you don't need them to do something. Just tell them how much you appreciate them sponsoring 270 Weather. I think they would appreciate that. I know I will. So, all right, let's get to what else is going on here as far as the weather is concerned, and it's going to get interesting, I think, in the coming days. Right now, it's just cloud cover, leftovers from some of the showers that passed through yesterday. As you can see, we've got the clouds. This is the satellite view showing the clouds, especially if you go along and east of Interstate 65. Yeah, this is kind of where the clouds are. So everything east, still cloudy, and there's still even a little bit of drizzle in some cases. But everything is clearing up back to the west. And back here is where the skies have cleared already. We're talking about some maybe low 30s tonight and early tomorrow morning. Very, very likely. And so that means that we're not going to have a covering of clouds. That also means with the winds being still and calm, clear sky overhead, high pressure, I think we could have some of you wake up to some frost or fog or a combination of the two. We could have something called freezing fog tomorrow morning as you're getting up to go to work. That could cause an icy spot. Yeah, on a bridge or an overpass. I'm not going to completely discount it. It's a very good possibility. All the moisture that's sitting here from where it rained and then the light rain and drizzle that we had today. And then if we bottom out, I'm looking at 33, 34, maybe. In some places, it'll get that cold. So it's going to set us up because we're going to get warmer tomorrow and more of a west to southwest wind, that warmer air coming up over the cool, damp ground. Perfect setup for fog. But if the temperatures get close enough to freezing, which is 32 degrees, then you could have freezing fog and frost. It is a very real possibility overnight tonight. Let's look at radar, and I can show you that everything as far as the light rain, you can see back here to the southeast, is pretty much done. It looks like around Knoxville, Tennessee, they're still getting some light rain, but really not much in Kentucky now. Most of that is fading away and just about over with. So I think we're done with any kind of rain that is out there. And so we're going to move on to see what's ahead for us. All right, let's go to the Kentucky Mesonet Network, and we'll check current temperatures, and I can show you that where the clouds are right now at 6:46, make it 6:47 p.m. on this November 2nd, you can see out east of us, temperatures are in the mid 40s. But look west of us where the skies have begun to clear. We're seeing low 40s and even some upper 30s. So it's not going to take long as we get deeper into the night and the skies clear everywhere. I do believe we're going to bottom out in the 30s, which means for some of you, you're going to get close enough to freezing tonight to have some frost and fog. How warm did it get today? Not much. Here's your maximum high temperature for all Kentucky Mesonet sites today. Some of you didn't make it out of the upper 40s. Wow. That is more like January. A high of 49 at the Corvette plant sensor right here in Warren County today. 50 at the Ag Expo Center site. How about low temperatures? 40s, but there were some 30s back west of us this morning, and a lot of these places are going to fall back into the 30s tonight. So get ready. How much rainfall? Well, today, much of the rainfall has been east, along and east of 65. As I mentioned, we picked up 0.06 of an inch of rain here at the Bowling Green Airport, 0.09 at the Corvette plant, 0.04 at the Ag Expo Center. But look at this, 0.2 of an inch in Metcalfe County, 0.3, a little bit more than that in Tompkinsville and Monroe County, almost 0.7 of an inch of rain in Burkesville, Cumberland County. And then you go east, most everybody averaging 1/4 inch or a little bit more, but nothing west of us. West of 65, everything was pretty quiet as far as showers today. How about the wind? Right now, the wind coming mostly light and variable, but the winds will be primarily from the west-northwest as we get into tomorrow, and then shift more from the west-southwest by afternoon, and that's going to make it a little bit warmer. Let's go now to the rainfall projection ahead for us. And you can see over the next 7 days, this is taking into account the storm that is going to come in for next weekend. I'm going to talk more about that as we go through the next few days, but it does look like by Friday, we're going to see another good chance of rain and maybe even some thunderstorms with gusty winds. The rainfall amounts projected are now, say, a quarter to a half inch, but I do expect that to go up as we get into next weekend. Again, more on that coming up. All right, here's a look at the maps, and I'll go day by day, and we'll get to see just exactly when and where it may rain. Here we go in the morning hours tomorrow, Monday. Look at all the fog. The Nashville National Weather Service Office is anticipating pretty much all of West and Middle Tennessee in some dense fog by tomorrow morning. And I do think some of that's going to creep into southern Kentucky, even though we're not all painted in here in the 270. Just kind of expect that we get, like I said, we could have fog and frost or frozen fog on surfaces, which could cause some travel issues. And the first places that would have an effect would be like, bridges, overpasses, maybe a sidewalk, your car. So there you go. Let's go get it on into Monday. 6 a.m. Yeah, now it's showing the fog spreading even further to the west out of Middle Tennessee and eastern Kentucky. So, yeah, I think tomorrow might be just a little, what shall we say? It could be an irritation. Let's put it that way, because of low visibility, and if you get the fog that freezes, then we could have some travel issues. I'm not saying it's going to be a big deal, but we need to watch out for it because of just the way the temperatures are going to be overnight. Tomorrow, though, here's noon, looking good. There's a cold front back to the west. Now, that front that's coming in will be here on Wednesday, but as you'll see, it's not going to produce any rain. It will produce some wind, though. Here's Monday evening. Tuesday morning, again, the Nashville office is painting in a lot of fog for Tuesday morning. And we're going to get back down into the 30s, mid-30s, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, or Monday night into Tuesday morning, I should say. So here's Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. Everything looks good. Here comes Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon and evening. Now a front, it doesn't show you here because of the time, but a front will have passed through, and it's a dry front, but it will produce some breezy conditions on Wednesday. On Wednesday, as that front comes through, a dry, cold front, it's going to push us up to near 70 before the front, but after the front will be cooler on Thursday, and it's going to be, as the front comes through, we could have winds of, maybe 20 to 30 miles an hour. Here we go into Friday. Now, this is the beginning of a system that I think could produce maybe some stronger storms. It's been a while, but it's a classic setup here. Lots of moisture. You get a low pressure system up over, it's in Lake Michigan, or will be. Then a trailing cold front and a warm front out ahead of it. So we will be in what's called a warm sector between the warm frontal boundary and the cold front. Excuse me. And this will be coming in first, the cold front on Friday morning. Now, when the warm front comes through, the winds are going to kick up. We're going to get lifted moisture. Therefore, maybe some what we call elevated thunderstorms. These are not surface based. When you get elevated thunderstorms, usually with a warm front, you get a lift of moisture enough, and you get a lot of, if you've got convection, you're going to have it more above instead of down below. But you could get some thunderstorms, hear thunder, see lightning, some rain out of that. But usually with these elevated thunderstorms, we don't get severe weather. Oh, I knew you was going to reset on me. There we go. So here's what I'm thinking. Friday morning, we get round one of thunderstorms with the warm front. Then there's the in-between time where we see a few showers and maybe a break. And then when the cold front comes in Friday evening, we could have a few stronger storms because that front is then going to go south of us as we head into Saturday. But look, we got a parade of systems coming in back from the west and out of the Rockies and out of the plains. This is Saturday. We go Sunday, some showers, and there's another front, and then another, and they just keep coming. Now, let me tell you something that we can't see, and I alluded to this at the very beginning. These fronts will bring rain and obviously some wind. Excuse me. This cooler air is starting to get to me a little. You can see that, though, this next front, this one is more of kind of an Arctic front. And let me tell you, around this low, there's some really much colder air. Well, indications are that that much colder air will arrive with this front, and then by Monday, next Monday, not tomorrow, but next Monday, November the 10th, it will push down into the Ohio Valley, the Tennessee Valley, and maybe even further south into the Gulf. There's a really good signal here that we could be looking at the real first punch of what all of us would define as cold air. Not cool. Not cool. We've had cool. Today was cool. But I'm talking about cold air. The kind of air that would bring down, say, the daytime temperatures into the 30s and 40s and overnight lows in the 20s. I mean, the signal is there. Now, the models, right now we're in the kind of the long range here. We're not in the short-term models. We're in the long range. And the long range models are giving us a pretty good indication that, yeah, a week from now, we could be looking at a transition to a much colder air mass. Not cooler, but colder. Now, am I saying that there's going to be moisture with that? I'm not right now. It's too soon. But I think we will have temperatures certainly cold enough that if there were moisture around, well, it might be. It might be something worth talking about. But we got to give this another day or so to bake in the oven, so to speak. It's not fully cooked yet. But, okay, let's take a look at this. Now, this is, as you know, the blend of models. The blender is what I call it. This is where it takes an ensemble of models, puts it all together. Imagine all the different kind of models, putting all the temperatures of each model into a blender, hitting the button, spinning it around, and it's mixing. And this is what it pours out. Kind of an average of all the models. I like to look at this because it gives us a pretty good indication of what may be coming down the road. So here we see a recovery close to 60 tomorrow, maybe 61, maybe. But here are your frosty nights tonight and tomorrow night. Then we start to warm up. As mentioned, it'll be windy on Wednesday with a cold, dry cold front, but I think it's going to push our high, if not 70, maybe 71 or 72. But then we cool down right after that and then warm up after that as we get ready for the bigger system that's going to come in on Friday. This is why I think we will have a chance of thunderstorms, not only because of the warm air, but a low-level jet is going to be present and it's going to be active. And I think the combination of a strong low-level jet and a potent cold front and the warm air plus the moisture, it all adds up to pretty good chance of thunderstorms, not just rain, but thunderstorms on Friday with gusty winds. And then you see we go from 72 to 64 on Saturday, but an even cooler 57 by next Sunday. But look at next Monday. A high of only 50? Now that means with that number that there are some of those models that are showing 40s. Because to bring that average down to 50, then that means there are some 40s in there. And then look at these low temperatures, right at freezing. This is the first time this fall that I have seen low temperatures that cold, where the blend of models have put everything together and it averages out at 32, 33. It has not been that cold yet this fall. So we're talking maybe even sub-freezing, below freezing temperatures. I didn't say below zero. I said below freezing, which is 32. Now, we're not going to stay there long. It looks like we'll make a pretty good recovery by next Wednesday, November the 12th. But this is looking pretty chilly right here. So we'll just have to, of course, wait and see how that all pans out. But it's kind of looking like it's going to be a little something by the end of next week and the beginning of next week. Getting there. I think it's going to possibly look and feel, at least feel, more like January or February than November. Now, by the middle of December, when we officially start winter, the season of winter, the average high goes to about 48. So we're talking about December, January type numbers by the start of next week. So this week looks mainly warm and dry, but with the storm coming in next weekend, after that, it does look much colder. Okay. There's all I have for you right now. I'll have more coming up tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. live on WNKY, NBC, and CBS 40, News 40, in the morning with sunrise. And then again at 9 a.m. and then again at noon. And then I'll be back here tomorrow evening to do another update like this to bring you up to date. Now, just know that in the morning, we can have fog and frost, both. And maybe freezing fog. Don't be surprised by that. Just know that I already told you. Be prepared for it. In the meantime, have a great evening. Thank you, as always, for watching. Have a good evening, and God bless.